Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Talkinsen. It's me, Ogechi. So for this video, as you can see by the title, we'll be talking about daddy issues, and I'll be referring to Regina Daniels' story and or using her story to tell the story of daddy issues. Now, this video is going to become a two-part video. One is this one I'm doing. The second one will be posted later on in the week, and possibly that will be on Saturday. If not, I possibly will go live to do it. Okay, so the daddy issue, you will learn a little bit more later in the video towards the end, where I explain what daddy issue is and why I'm using Regina Daniels' story or narrative to explain this matter. Okay, now I do not wish to really speak so much about this girl in particular because I do not know her much, but I believe that the stories that emerged during her marriage ceremony really has a lot to tell and can actually showcase a lot of things for people that may find themselves in her situation or people who have gone through similar experiences that she has gone, especially when it comes to an upset father or being raised by a single mother. If you want to continue, please don't forget to share and subscribe or like this video if you do like it. Okay, subscribe. Definitely do subscribe. So let's begin on who Regina Daniel is. Regina Daniel is a Nigerian actress who started acting from childhood. 1 year or so ago, people started raising concerns over her flashy lifestyle on Instagram and expensive cars, clothes, jewelries, and then a house she bought or built for her mother. People questioned her means of income, as it is widely believed that Nollywood, which is the Nigerian industry, do not pay their actors or actresses that much for them to be able to afford the type of lifestyle that she is living. Not long after it emerged that she was engaged to be married to a Nigerian billionaire called Ned Nwoko, who is aged 61 or above. This news explained or helped to explain the expensive lifestyle of Regina Daniels. But rather than calming things down, the concerns of people heightened. Not long after, there was a revelation or news that they were getting married. Most people's concerns were not because she was getting married, but because of the age gap between her and her husband, and also because we discovered that the or people discovered rather that the husband already have 5 wives with children, and Regina Daniel will be becoming the sixth wife. People questioned her motive for marrying him, her husband's motive for marrying her, but the biggest concern was on her, or criticism was on her mother for allowing such marriage to take place or approving for Regina to get married to Ned, despite everything. Most people condemned her actions, okay, and called her a gold digger or money hungry, as well as her daughter. During their traditional marriage, a lot of propaganda arose from that as well, okay, and people raised concerns over the marriage ceremony itself. And this marriage ceremony was on a traditional marriage. People at this point started asking about her father and whether he want to know whether he approves of it and what his thoughts are. But as it became clearer that I'm made aware of her situation, that she was raised by her single mother. The husband later revealed that he met the wife a virgin and married her a virgin, and people report that the same was for his other wives. This raised curiosity for many people, and there was suspicion as to why all his women must be virgins before he marries them, and there were speculation of idolatry reasons. Regina, in one of the interviews I saw her appear on mentioned that she did not care or wasn't thinking of public opinion when she chose or decided to go ahead with the marriage. And she said that she likes her husband, I guess, and because he understands her and can tolerate her character, and she describes her character as being stubborn. The mother equally defended her daughter's decision in an interview in pidgin English. One of the things that saddened the public was that she had previously been in a relationship with a guy of similar age who they called Somadina, or who is called Somadina. But then again, the same guy came out to congratulate Regina on her marriage, therefore showing that he was in support of her decision. Now, I do not know Regina Daniels much, but have watched a movie of her to the end. I've only watched really one movie of her all the way to the end, or a movie that she starred on or was one of the lead actors all the way to the end. And I've also seen some of her videos that she's posted on her YouTube platform. And based on what I've seen from the YouTube platform, she seemed happily married. And we also see that she gets on very well with the fifth wife of Ned. Now, you'd have thought that that would calm things down, but you still hear or see people asking after the first wife, second wife, and other wives that were previous or prior to Regina, wanting to know what their opinion are, and some believing that she was only showcasing fake happiness. Okay, many people or many of her critics predict that her marriage will not work out very well for her, and most of their criticisms are based on their own personal experiences of either coming from a polygamous family or being in a polygamous family, or possibly knowing people that have been in a polygamous family, but not necessarily her own experience of being in a polygamous family or in a polygamous marriage. Okay. There was also concern that she may not be the last wife based on her husband's guest story or past situations of marrying different wives. And then people were asking what she do then. There was also reports that she cannot go outside of her marriage to have relationship with another man. Which to me didn't make sense, because I do not see a reason why she should be going outside of her marriage for any form of intimate relationship apart from her husband. But I guess people concerned there was that if she does, based on the things that were practiced or traditions of her husband's place or of her husband, that she may not come out of it alive. So that again is like another speculation which worried people. There is no physical evidence of this. It's just speculations or propaganda to say possibly. Okay, so I was not aware of Regina Daniel, to be precise, or any Nigerian actress or actors on their life on Instagram. Her story, when it became big, is made me start looking into her life to an extent, or possibly just go to her page, and actually helped me to discover that many Nigerian celebrities are on Instagram. So basically, without her story, I wouldn't have even paid attention, as I never really knew that there were a lot of Nigerian celebrities on social media. Okay, until this her story became popular. However, my interest in the story became heightened, or I picked interest in this story when a man, based on a YouTube video that I watched of another person, or reports of social media that I watched from another person, came out during the traditional marriage to claim for her to be his daughter. So he came to claim that he is the father of Regina Daniel. According to him, he did not approve of this relationship or of this marriage, and said that he was aware of Regina Daniel's husband to be, or husband at the time, and was not in approval of that marriage. One of his reasons being that he grew up with the man or lived on the same street or the same area with the man, and that he did not even do the courtesy of coming to him to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage. Okay. He was also saddened because he felt that he was not being respected and was being excluded from performing his from the marriage and also performing his fatherly rights. Okay. He also claimed that the mother, as Regina Daniel, and her siblings were growing up, did not allow him to be close to them, but we did not know the reason why this could be. And from his story, it didn't seem like she made it easy for him to be a father to them. But then again, we did not know anything about this, and the mom has not come out to say much about the husband either. In listening to his story, I was convinced that he was the Regina Daniels' father, although possibly other people came out to try and claim. But this man's statement was very convincing, as he himself went further to say he can prove this. Okay. And I was also convinced because there was a lot of resemblance between Regina and him, physically as well. But to my surprise, and I was also confused, there was a statement put out by Regina Daniels that indirectly denied this man to be her father, or never acknowledged that he is known to her or of importance to her, or that he is her father, and rather dismissed the claim in a mockery form based on her post. But after she gave birth, we saw the same man appear on her pictures, which then goes ahead to confirm that obviously he is known to her in an intimate level or in an interpersonal relationship of a father to a son, a daughter. In recent pictures of Regina Daniels with her family after she did her child dedication after giving birth, we saw the same man that first came out to claim to be her father posing with her, her mother, and her husband with the child in his hands in a picture, which then goes to confirm that he has been telling the truth all along. Based on reports, he stated that he had to forgive to be able to join, I guess, equally to be able to participate in Regina's life. This whole scenario got me thinking. My thoughts were focused on why Regina denied or did not acknowledge this man to be her father in the first place. Why now? Why didn't the mother confirm that he was her husband? And then why now? Why didn't the father surface earlier before the relationship with Ned? Why now? Why did Regina marry Ned and vice versa? I also thought of what's changed. I, I was thinking possibly the child of Regina possibly ignited something in her to do the right thing to acknowledge this man as her own father. Okay, this was one of my biggest thing for wanting to do this video actually. Then I also thought to myself, did the father, being an absent father or a father that did not possibly participate much in her life, did he have any right to still have a say in her decision in life, especially when it comes to marriage? Did he still have the right to bless the marriage or approve of the marriage? Does he have the right for bridal price to be given to him? Was his rights taken away? Okay. And why did Regina and her mother do everything between themselves in this manner? And I would like to think possibly they involved elders of their own kind without the father. Okay. I also thought to myself, what could this whole relationship mean and what can we learn from it, especially for those who can identify with Regina's situation. I felt that there is a deeper rooted issue that many of the critics neglect to identify in Regina's story and everything that happened. The issue that I felt that needed to be addressed, that came out to me as I thought more about it, really came out to me as of recent after just watching a bit of her videos on YouTube and equally reflecting on the whole story of the dad coming out and she indirectly denying her, I guess, or never acknowledging that he was her father. Okay, the issue that I'm going to talk about is the rising phenomenon or rising issue called daddy issue or father complex. Okay, with the rising number of divorce and children being raised by a single family or single mother or single parenthood where the father is absent, either the whole of their life or in the important developmental stages or partially involved in her life. And I'm speaking from a daughter's perspective, okay, in a person's life, it is often ascribed that women who date older men or struggle in some elements of relationship of this kind do so because of daddy issues. But this issue is not only related to to women. Men also experience it. Okay, the lack of father care ends up people having to try and compensate in one way or the other the absence of the father in their developmental life with their later life decisions when it comes to romantic relationship or making decisions on who to marry. And for some, if where the issue is really bad, they may make um, decisions that may not be good for them or favorable for them, and they may have trouble in relationship with others in their later life. So the purpose of the video that I am doing now, that I'm also going to do later on, which could be on Saturday or later on this week, you just have to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video to find out when, and also put your notification on so that you will know when this next video is going to come out or when it becomes live. Okay, the issue I want to highlight again is the daddy issue, but I actually want to highlight how or the effect of such issue affects women or young girls at a later age, as I mentioned, especially when it comes to selecting a husband, as I mentioned. Okay, and I'm using Regina's story as a point of reference. Okay, I will be forming my viewpoints based on movies I've watched, okay, research papers that I have read based on this particular issue. That's how invested I am in speaking on this issue. Research papers that I have read and their findings on this particular issue, um, as well as other individual stories that I've either read or heard on the issue of daddy issues. I'll also use my experience of being in a motherless baby's home, or what people here will call orphanage, but in Nigeria, where I'm coming from, they call it motherless or fatherless baby's home. Okay, I'll use my experience in that home and what it has taught me. Okay, as many women or many people take the decision to raise their children in a singular parent or single parenthood, it's important that we start looking at how these things affect the children, because as the rate of divorce or the fact that parents make the decision to divorce, because there's always a decision either by one party or both parties, there's always a decision to separate from a relationship for different reasons. But as this decision of divorce arises, there are people that I believe, well, there are people that are affected by these decisions, and these are the children, whether the parents recognize it or not. The issue of single parenthood or divorce has a mental and psychological effect on children, whether they showcase it or not. For some children, they show it in different ways, where they can either become rebellious, others they yearn for more affection, others they become affectionless, the emotionless in those areas, others turn out good, others turn out bad. So it affects children in different ways. But there are other things that could be put in place to make sure that it doesn't affect in a detrimental way, and equally affects the type of relationship, even if they are in a happy relationship. But it also affects the type of relationship or the way they view a relationship that they are in, and speak of either marriage relationship or a relationship that leads to marriage. Okay, so as people go out to procreate, either outside of marriage or outside of anything, and make the decision not to care for those children or be present in that child's life, especially from a father's perspective, as this is the topic or the area that I'm focusing on, the effects becomes much more and becomes an increase in daddy issues of our recent times. So there has become a lot of increase, and you see this a lot from reality TV shows as well, where they describe their issues, and equally of even um, criminals and other things, that other people that have committed crime that have daddy issues, and even for those that have had successful relationship, they still tell you that there are a lot of daddy issues that they had to overcome, and most of the times they find that in their own husbands, who helps them to overcome that, and their husband may not be as or sorry, may not have such an age gap as that Regina Daniels situation, but this is often a rising issue, or is an issue within that relationship that always have to be managed or supported in one way or the other, to be for the two people involved in such relationship to have a successful relationship and thrive in that relationship. Okay, because I also sorry, I also sorry, I'm speaking most especially for people that have, or young women that have their fathers who are absent, or they are fatherless to say, or their father left for one reason or the other, and this is much more impacting when the father is actually well and alive, and looking after other children, not theirs, but not them. And I also brought out this daddy issue also came to me when I learned that Serena Williams actually had half sisters, and when the half sister, who is the oldest among them all, from the first wife of her of the father, came out to speak on the daddy issues that she experienced and how that had a damaging effect on her, it only showcases that where the father is absent or prefers one relationship, one relationship children, or one family relationship to another, or choose to be present for some children and not the others, regardless of different families that they have, or different women that they've had, this has a an effect somewhere or somehow with their father, sorry, with the children. And also another person that has brought this issue to light is also Lindsay, um, Heather Lindsay, or Lindsay Heather, one of those, and spoke about daddy issues as well. So there's a lot of women who are rising up, especially those who are now in marriage, who have seen that the patterns of fatherlessness or absent fathers affect how it affects their life, and how it actually is affecting their relationship as of present. So there is a lot of rising issues, or rising debates on the effects of fatherhood, and there are some researches in this area, but I believe there should be more. There are also some for the men, where the male in the family experience absent fatherhood, so, and how that affects their fatherhood over the years. Some people, as I mentioned, some people come out better than others, but there is always that yearning in the child of wishing that the father was present, even if they are thriving in their current relationship and have everything together. So for the video, then I do wish to highlight the importance of fatherhood, of father's presence in a woman's life or in a young woman's life, and how this interpersonal relationship is very important and can affect any other interpersonal relationship that this young woman may have, or any intimate relationship that any young woman who may identify with Regina Daniels' situation may have in later life. So that's the end of this video. Don't forget to tune in, subscribe, put your notification on, and equally like and share this video if you find it helpful or think it's going to be helpful for anyone to listen to or to tune in. Okay, so on that note, thanks for watching or thanks for listening. Okay, do take care, and it is now your turn. Please do comment, leave your comments to get the conversations, as I would like to know what your thoughts are also on this issue. All right, do take care. Bye.